So one of the more frequently asked question I get asked by students and my coaches in relation to an interview is, what happened when the interviewer asked you, do you have a question for me? Right? Now, it's simple enough a question, and if you don't prepare it, you might ask something like, what is your training program like? What is your mobility program like? How easy is for me to switch from this role to another? What is a career plan look like in this company? Do I have a mentor? All those things like that. And there is one thing that is a little bit of a problem with those type of questioning is it's all about you. It's not really about the work. It's not really about a company. It's not about the industry. So as an interviewer, all I'm hearing is all about you, right? And those type of question has its place and time. So maybe right now at the interviewing stage, it's not the right time because you're trying to get an offer. And well, then what is the right time, you might ask? Well, the right time would be normally when you have a letter of offer in hand. And then you can ask all those questions about you because you say, right, you think we're a great match and we're going to like each other. So let's make sure the terms in which we're cooperating is, satisfactory to each other. And then you talk about things like pay, bonuses, benefits, and stuff like that, within reasons. But this is not the right time. This is a time where I'm trying to determine whether you are the right person for the job. So what kind of question would be meaningful or relevant in this kind of situation? I think, at least when I was an interviewer, the things that would impress me are people who actually show a sincere and genuine interest in the job or the industry or the company, and who have done their homework and who has a certain insight about something, about either the industry, the company, or the role. So I'll give you an example. Let's say, going back to using a finance sort of industry as an example, because that's where I'm from, that's what I was from. Let's say you're interested in wealth management, okay, managing wealth for high net worth individuals, and you don't know too much about the industry because you're trying to get into it. You don't know anyone who worked in it, but there are many things and there are many ways that you can try to get to know more. One of them is to do your own search online. Google it, YouTube it, use some keywords, wealth management industry, latest trends or current issues, regulatory issues, technology innovations, technology disruptions. Any one of those words will get you to some article which gives you some insight about that particular topic within the industry. And I would say then take your time to read them, take your time to understand them, and then pick the one that really interests you, that you're really curious about, because you're going to spend a lot more time and a lot more motivation to get to know that, and you're going to develop better insight as a result of that. Okay? And so pick one, study it, read many articles about it, go deep into it, listen to interviews of industry leaders, from big companies, big banks, regulators, just about that particular issue, so that your brain is saturated with deep, many faceted information about the same topic, and then form your own opinion about how is it going to impact the service, how is it going to impact the client, how is it going to impact the cost of doing the business, for example. And then on the day, when I ask you the question, if I'm the interviewer, you might say something like, Kevin, I noticed recently that the new regulation that get passed about wealth management is such and such. I understand the impact from what I know to be this and that. And I was just thinking, how would it actually impact the product offering to our clients in this industry? And this is what I think. And then you say what you think. And then you say, but Kevin, you've been in industry for so long. I would really love to hear from you as you are the expert in this matter, what you think about it yourself. And so in this one question, I would be able to tell how much homework have you done. It's a quality question. And had you not done homework, you wouldn't be able to ask the type of question that you asked. And so to me, that demonstrated a lot of sincerity in you trying to enter this particular industry. And you respect me by showing me, number one, that you've done the homework, and number two, flattering me by asking me as a subject matter expert what I think. And guess what? I'm going to say, hey, I'm really glad you asked a question. It's a great question. Let me tell you what I think, right? Been here for so long. So in one question, you are able to demonstrate how much homework you've done, and also give me the opportunity to feel good about myself by telling you about my expert opinion. So all of that would be very beneficial to improving the chance of you, number one, being remembered, but number two, being remembered for the right reasons, because of the way you prepared and how relevant your questions are. And is that it's not all about you, but most importantly, the answer that you seek cannot be found anywhere on the internet because you're asking for my personal opinion. So those questions are safe to ask anytime. The prerequisite is you have to do a whole lot of work prior to the interview in relation to the industry that you're seeking before you go into the interview. But you can recycle this question many times going to similar companies. So you can ask me in this bank, you can ask someone else in another bank, and the same question will still apply within the same industry. So there is some economy of scale, and I highly recommend that you try it. And let me tell you this question will never go wrong, okay? And the more you spend your time preparing yourself, the more insightful your question is, a bigger the impression you're going to make, a positive impression you're going to make to the potential employer, and you would definitely put yourself in a good state in terms of being selected for the final candidates and potentially receiving an offer. So I hope this is helpful.